A-level biology 9700, and the topic is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process which takes place in plants, and during the process the plants manufacture the food not only for their own use but also for other organisms. So the photosynthesis combines carbon dioxide with water to form glucose and oxygen, and the glucose which is produced as a result of photosynthesis is used in respiration to produce energy, and the oxygen which is produced during the process of photosynthesis, this is released from the plant to the stomata. So it means carbon dioxide also enters through stomata, and oxygen leaves through the stomata. So the exchange of gases takes place through these pores or stomata. So if we uh, see its equation, we can see that six molecules of carbon dioxide combined with six molecules of water, which results the formation of one molecule of glucose and six molecules of oxygen. Sunlight is necessary. Chlorophyll is compulsory, so it takes place in green parts only, because chlorophyll is that pigment which is needed because it will capture the sunlight during the process. And sunlight is also compulsory. You can say it cannot take place without light. And here you can see another diagram which is showing the two stages of photosynthesis. The first stage is called as the light dependent stage, which takes place in the thylakoid membrane or the granum. Granum are the states of thylakoid membrane. And the second stage, which takes place in the stoma, that is, which is called as light independent stage. During light independent stage, light is not required, whereas the light dependent stage needs energy. And during light dependent stage, the photolysis will take place. Photolysis takes place, whereas during the light independent stage, formation of carbohydrates, glucose or carbohydrates will take place. So these are the two stages. The light dependent stage is also called as the light reaction, whereas the light independent stage is also called as the dark reaction. So first of all, we will discuss the light dependent stage. So during this light dependent stage, as light energy is compulsory, so light energy is absorbed by photosystem 2. So two types of photosystems are there in plants, the photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. So light excites, which is absorbed by the plant. So the light excites electrons within photosystem 2 and causes them to move into a higher energy state. So from lower energy to they will move towards the higher energy state. So these electrons are passed on to a series of electron carriers within the electron transport chain to photosystem 1. So these electrons which were in higher energy state, they will pass through a series of electron carriers. So different electron carriers will help them to move towards the photosystem 1. So in this way, we will say this is the electron transport chain. So a chain of electron carriers will help these electrons to move towards the photosystem 1. So the electrons which have been lost from photosystem 2 need to be replaced. So this happens through the photolysis of water. Photo already told you that in first stage the photolysis takes place. So photolysis is the it takes place due to the light energy, which causes a water molecule to split apart and release hydrogen ions, electrons, and oxygen. So the electrons from water replace the electrons lost from photosystem 2. So these electrons which are produced as a result of photolysis, so they will replace the those electrons which were lost from photosystem 2. As the electrons move along the electron transfer chain, they move from high to low energy level because their energy level will become lower as they will pass through many electron carriers. So the energy lost by the electrons is used to pump hydrogen ions from the stroma into the thalloid membrane. So this generates a photon gradients across the thalloid membrane due to, so they will flow. So these protons flow down their concentration gradient. As you know, they will always move from higher concentration towards the lower concentration. So these protons flow down their concentration gradient through ATP synthesis. You know, the ATP synthesis is the enzyme. So the energy from the movement of protons is used to phosphorylate ADP to ATP because ATP synthesis is used for the formation of ATP. So from ADP, so here photophosphorylation will take place and there will be the formation of ADP, ATP from ADP. So the light is absorbed by photosystem 1, causing another electron to become excited and be passed along the rest of the electron transport chain. So the electron is passed on to NADP to form reduced NADP. So reduced NADP will be NADPH. So NADPH is an electron carrier which transfers electron from one molecule to another. So here in this stage, after the photolysis, there is the formation of ATP and secondly, the formation of reduced NADP. Both of the ATP and reduced NADP, both of they will be moved into the stroma for the next stage of photosynthesis, the light independent stage. Already told you that is the light independent stage is also called as the night reaction or the light reaction, which takes place only in the stroma. Light is not needed for it. So here you can see the diagram of the light dependent stage. First of all, the energy level of the electron as you can see the photosystem 2, the electrons when they are excited, then water is broken down as a result of breakdown of water. Oxygen, hydrogen, and electrons are released. So these electrons are used to move from lower energy level to high energy level and from high energy level to, you can see the ATP, ADP is changed into ATP and then this electron through many electron carrier is moved to photosystem 1 and from photosystem 1 it is also you can say gain energy and becomes in higher state of energy and then many due to many electron carriers it is used to reduce the NADP. So reduced NADP formation takes place. So it means formation of ATP takes place in this stage and formation of reduced NADP is also takes place in this stage. So both of they are used for the next stage, which is called as the light independent stage. So light independent stage when there is no need of sunlight, only the formation of carbohydrates takes place. So during this stage, the Calvin cycle takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast and uses the product of the stage 1. As already told you, ATP and reduced NADP will be used over here. to form glucose. So the reaction which takes place can be divided into three main stages. First of all, the carbon fixation will take place, reduction takes place, and regeneration takes place. So the carbon dioxide is fixed by adding it to a 5 carbon molecule called ribulose biphosphate. So carbon dioxide combines with ribulose biphosphate to forming a 6 carbon molecule. So in this way, there will be the formation of 6 carbon molecule, and this reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme called riboswitol. So the 6 carbon molecule is unstable. So this carbon compound, which is formed, 6 carbon compound, which is formed by the combining of ribulose phosphate with the carbon dioxide. So this process is also called as carbon dioxide fixation. So 6 carbon compound is formed. So this 6 carbon compound molecule is unstable. So it will break down to form 3 carbon compounds called glycerate 3-phosphate. So glycerate 3-phosphate can be represented with GP. So after the formation of this glycerate 3-phosphate, so this reaction at this stage, this reaction requires energy. So ATP from the light dependent stage. So it was produced, which was produced in the first stage is hydrolyzed to ATP. So at this stage, ATP will change into ADP because ATP will will break down and one phosphate molecule will be released from here. So it will change into ADP. So this reaction also requires electrons from the electron carrier reduced NADP. Already it was reduced. NADP was reduced in the first stage. So electrons are needed here. So this NADP transfer electrons to glycerate phosphate, reducing it to triose phosphate. So glycerate phosphate will be changed into triose phosphate. Triose phosphate is also 3 carbon compound. So it can be represented with TP. So some triose phosphate is converted into organic molecules such as glucose, but some will be used to regenerate ribulose biphosphate. So triphosphate is converted back into ribulose biphosphate. It means triose phosphate will be changed into 2 compounds. That is one glucose molecules, formation of glucose molecule, and the regeneration of ribulose biphosphate. So triose phosphate is converted back to ribulose phosphate. So this process also requires energy. So it will be generated by ATP hydrolysis. So ATP will also break down. So the cycle, after this, the cycle will be completed and another round of carbon fixation can take place. So it will be continuous and this will take place again. So here I can explain this with the help of this diagram. As already told you, ribulose biphosphate is 5 carbon compound. So 5 carbon compound will combine with carbon dioxide to form 6 carbon compound. So here will be the formation of 6 carbon compound which will break down into glycerate phosphate, 2 molecules of glycerate molecules, and then ATP energy is required in this process. So ATP will break down into ADP by releasing the one phosphate molecule, and the reduced NADP will release the hydrogen, or it will, and then due to this, what will happen? The glycerate phosphate will change into triose phosphate. Triose phosphate then will form the 6 carbon compound or the glucose, or some of it will change into ribulose biphosphate again to continue the cycle again. So at this stage, the ATP will again, it will break down to form ADP, and this will be used to form ribulose biphosphate. So in this way, this cycle is continued or you can say the process takes place without light. The first stage takes place in the sunlight. So in this way, it was all about the protein synthesis. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.